Welcome back to Exotic Play Place, everyone. Thanks for joining in on this sunshiny, beautiful afternoon. Today we're going to talk about my personal interpretation of the brand new Jaguar F-Type, as well do a quick comparison with the outgoing Jag F-Type. So we've got both R's here, and it'll give us a perfect comparison side by side. Let's get into it now. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Mark with Exotic Play Place. And today, so let's do a quick walk around. I'm going to share with you inside, outside. We'll talk about the general power, dynamics, engine configurations, and I'll share with you my personal preference at the very end. So let's take a look. Now, looking at the brand new Jaguar F-Type here in front of us, we've got two R's. We've got the new R and the old outgoing R. So this is a perfect comparison we can do side by side. Now, this new car has count them, 1, 2, 3 different styles of engines. You can get a 4-cylinder 2-liter engine that makes about 300 horsepower. You can also get the 380 horsepower supercharged V6, or you can get this one. This is the engine you want to have in the F-Type. This is the 5-liter supercharged V8 that now makes 575 horsepower compared to the outgoing 550 horsepower. This now is the outgoing SVR engine. So this now is the 575 horse. So that's new there. Now looking, the most controversial things that they've done to this new car is obviously the hood. Look at the hood now has these two nostrils further closer to the front of the car. When we compare that to the outgoing car, they're a little bit further back in the hood. Now another major notable, as you can tell here, you can actually see the whole front nose sort of extends further down, or that's the feeling of it, because now the headlights, you have this longer, narrow, more of like a squinted eye look you've got at the front end on the new version. The outgoing car slides back along the fender line, so it's a little bit different look for sure. That's the most prominent feature to note on the front end of the car. You've got this style versus that style. Quite a bit different a look. The other thing that you have to look at, of course, in line with almost every other manufacturer now, Jaguar's doing the same thing. We've got this big mouth grille. I personally like it, not everybody does, and it depends where you live. This can actually look really, really awkward. And the reason I say that, you have the license plate holder here on the front, and to me that really destroys the look of that grille. If you live in certain places like where we live here in Alberta, that's gone. So you just have the grille and it looks swanky. On the outgoing one, you actually have something that's more or less like this, and you've got that bar across the middle. If you had to put a license plate on there, it somehow is broken up already, and it seems to fit in a little better on that particular design. Now, moving along to the side of the new F-Type, you'll notice some differences. We've got different wheels, and you'll notice this vent is a little bit different. This here has a sleeker look here, albeit this looks a little bit awkward, almost looks some kind of three-dimensional noodles coming out at you. A little bit awkward, not sure I'm in love with that. Let's compare that to the outgoing F-Type vent here. This actually looks, in my opinion, a little bit cleaner. You actually have the honeycomb type grille in here. Much better look, in my opinion, on that. Then we look along the side of the car. Let's start at the A-pillars. They're identical. How about the mirrors? They're both the same too. And the doors are the same, as well as the side skirts are also the same on both the new car and the outgoing car. Of course, again, as I said, the wheels are different. Let's move around to the back. And then we move to the back of the car. Let's take a quick look here. You'll notice everything roofline down is identical. We've got the old R and the new R. What specifically you can notice difference here, that you've got a chrome touch. The Jaguar symbol is chrome or chrome plated, and the new car is color coded. Now this may be an option, however, that's a slight difference there. When we look at the taillights, that's a major difference. This one here, the old car has more of a rounded droop, whereas the new one is squared off. A little cleaner, more up to date. Now, of course, you'll notice the tailpipes. Very much the same. You've got quad pipes on the new one, and you've got quad pipes on the old one, so no big news there. However, the one thing I might note is look at the splitter in the bottom here of the old car. It comes up and down, and it's left for airflow through there. But if you move to the new car, it actually does that, sure, up and down, but you've also got this centerpiece in here to add a little extra foil in there. So subtle differences on the exterior. For the most part, the cars are almost identical on the outside. So a couple things that you can't see. The outgoing car is a little bit louder. The exhaust sound is a bit more of that snap, crackle, pop, fireworks in a tin can effect. Whereas a new car has actually been dialed down a little bit. It's actually made to become a little more quiet, a little softer. What they've done is they've created a silent mode for startup. The old car always started full loud volume. The new car, you can put silent mode on so you don't wake up your neighbors early in the morning when you're heading off to the office. That, as well as the overall volume of the exhaust, is a little bit subdued compared to the old car. And another thing worth mentioning, since we're at the rear of the car, has to do with the rear suspension. There's been extra work on the bearings and bushings, and the overall geometry of the rear suspension has been dialed in such a way that you get more contact patch to the pavement under harder driving. In other words, translation, better performance in the handling department than the outgoing car. Now those numbers are marginal, so take that for a grain, but it is slightly improved from this car to that car. Now with all of that in mind, these cars are still largely the same. One other key difference I will note on the inside of the car, let's take a look. Now if you look inside the car, it looks largely the same as the outgoing car. The stick shift looks the same, all the controls are more or less the same, you've got the same grab handle, all the controls in the center of the dash are pretty much the same. The big difference is on the dash display. So the new car now has a 12-inch digital cluster. Instead of the analog gauges that you had in the last car, the new car actually has fully digital. How about transmission? Well, in this particular car, you still get the 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, still tuned for performance. It is one of the best in the business, there's no doubt about it. So this car still shifts as well as you can expect it to, auto mode or fully manual mode. It's a great car all the way around. So the ultimate question is, which car would I actually take? Well, consider now that the new incoming car, this generation, is going for a discounted amount over the outgoing car. That's right, Jaguar has rechanged and retuned the pricing of the new car, and so that tells me that we've got a lot more value in the new car than we've got in the old car. There's just enough updates to make it worth your while. That's right, in other words, it seems to be slightly better value. The big thing, of course, is getting whether you like that headlight assembly better than the outgoing. Personally, I like the outgoing look better, but that's just a personal preference. This looks a lot more like the new Aston Martin Vantage, that overall front end. Thanks a lot, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have a personal preference, I'd love to hear what your opinion is. Drop it in the line below, down in the comments section as well. If you want to see more, be sure to click on that link over there. That's going to give you a video of 2020's best luxury cars this year. Thanks again, everybody. I hope to see you on the next one. See you then. Bye-bye.